Hey everybody. So I am here today because I wanted to talk about kind of about our different brains that we're working off of right now. And for anybody tuning in right now, it's middle of July 2020, still in the middle of a pandemic. My husband and I are in Guatemala, moved to another country a few months ago. And with all that said, one thing that's really come to mind, especially lately with all of the social issues, there's race issues, there's pandemic issues going on, is that a lot of us are working off of a survival brain versus a thinking brain. So what's the difference? Your thinking brain is more cognitive. That's where you have all your reasoning and where your thinking essentially comes from, where your decision making happens. And your survival brain is what happens when your body goes into fight or flight. And I hold it here because a lot of your sympathetic nervous system rises up into this space in your chest. So you can physically feel when you're in survival mode or survival brain. For somebody who's in it long term, maybe PTSD, they live in this state. And right now, that's what seems to be happening to a lot of society, where we're getting caught up in the 24-hour news cycle, the 24-hour social media cycle. Somebody just recently told me, I have a friend in marketing who said that 60% of the population is spending about 65 to 68% more per day of their time on social media because they are home more with the pandemic. So that's not a good thing necessarily, and we all know that social media is a great tool to use for reasons like this, for information, but there's so much fake news and there's so much negativity and just arguing and things going on that it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety, and therefore people are going into survival mode and they're staying there. So I just wanted to throw this out there that, now at this time, it's not only a time for us, I don't want to say to be concerned. There is a lot of time right now that we are concerned, or maybe people are living in a state of fear, but this should also be a really good time of transformation. There's a lot going on in the world. This should change the way that we're thinking about each other. There should change the way we're thinking about how we communicate and how we deal with other human beings, and maybe start shifting away from the negative side of it and shifting it to a positive. How can we do that? One thing is we should start to identify whether we're in thinking brain or survival brain. And how can you tell? Well, in thinking brain, you're able to be logical. Even if you go into survival brain while you're in thinking brain, you are able to actually listen and hear what somebody else is saying. Maybe you can listen to the other side of the debate or the discussion. I won't even call it an argument, but you're able to reason, you're able to take information in and process it before just going into this like snap decision and snap reaction. When people in survival brain, they're generally not even listening. They're kind of like in this red alert. So they're just like, it's all like white noise, so to speak. How can you tell if you're in survival brain? Your heart rate's up, you're like clenched, your teeth are clenched, your eyes are clenched, you might be hunched over, you might have rounded shoulders. I know personally, I always say I can feel my nervous system. And what that means is I can kind of feel like shaking, and it's not a shaking like this, but it's an internal, it's like a vibration. It's the vibration of my nervous system. It's the energy that's so ramped up that it's literally trembling on the inside. And for me, I know that's just my nervous system. That's a huge alert for me. Because I'm a wellness instructor as well as a missionary, I'm very body aware, so I notice when those things are happening, but I've been working on that for a long time. So just take a moment to just really think about where you are right now and how can you use that energy and harness some good out of it. First and foremost, you have to identify that energy. One thing you can do, I can give you a little exercise right now that I actually recently learned. It's similar to one I've done in yoga before, but basically, you're going to sit, so everybody can get in their position right now. You're going to sit with your hands maybe in this position, facing one another. And you're going to take a deep breath in, let it out through the mouth, and then go ahead, close your eyes. And all I want you to do is to start to notice the flow of your breath and start to move your hands with that flow. Now, for some of you, it may be quick, and some of you, it may be slower. So don't judge the flow. Just move your breath intentionally at the speed of the flow of your natural breath. And then after you've done that for a few moments, I want you to start to move your hands at the pace that you would like your breath to be. So if you have a rapid breath, maybe you want to try to slow it down a little bit. And then just take a moment to notice that when you start to shift that, what happens to your breath? If you're really in tune, you might actually start to feel a force between the palms. If you don't, that's okay too. And just let your hands move at the speed of your breath. And then slowly bring your hands back down to the thighs. Go ahead, flutter your eyes open. Let's take a big breath together. That's just a good little short exercise to help center yourself. Maybe you do it for a little bit longer. That was just really just an example of how to do that. And so if you felt like just becoming aware of your breath kind of stressed you out, then you're probably really living in survival brain. And then that's where we want to take it a step further. Start to work towards meditation or some kind of practice to get that energy out. So that doesn't necessarily mean sitting still. That means that it could be that you work out, you do yoga, you walk, you run, you do something physical to harness that energy to get it moving. Movement is a good thing. Movement is what I've kind of devoted the last 10 years of my life to. But my point is that once you start to move some of this energy that's in your survival brain, then you can get back and rationalize your thinking brain. And really my goal with this whole little chat here is to get you really thinking about where you are right now and allow yourself to try to shift back into that thinking brain so you can take some of this energy and use it for good. Right now, people need help. You know, we're the extreme. My husband and I are missionaries in Guatemala. We gave up everything to be here to help people. Doing it and then getting thrust into a pandemic, that's a whole other ball of wax. However, that's what we're here doing. It just means our mission looks different than we thought it would when we got here. But you know, a lot of people, it seems like, are retreating, they're getting sucked into themselves, and they're battling. Everybody's battling. There's so much battling online that I've had to step away from online activity for the better part of my day. So just take a moment and think about, is there somebody in your life that all you have to do is pick up the phone and call them? You know, work on how to get your movement going, work on how to move your energy to get it kind of out. Even just literally what I'm doing right now, just kind of shaking it off, rolling out your shoulders, just moving and breathing. That's something that, you know, if you're feeling that kind of tension, get up from your chair, walk away from your screen, and go just shake it off. I highly recommend it. It's very good for you. So if nothing else, you know, I really just want you to become in tune with the difference in these two brains. And if you have any questions, feel free to, you know, comment or reach out to me. www.feedingfaith.org is one website. www.sanitygurus.com is another. There's emails attached to both of those. So those are the two ways you can find me. And if you want to go a little deeper into meditation or just some ideas on how to harness that energy, you can let me know. But I just hope that you guys can all find a way to move a little bit and just kind of shake off some of this stuff we have going on. Take time to reach out to one another, be kind to one another, say hello, smile, give people, well, I know I can't say give people a hug, give them the fist bump. I'm a hugger. I'm still hugging as much as I can. So I send out prayers, I send out blessings to each and every one of you, and I thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time. Later.